Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more Los Angeles Lakers news. But first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. A great center is coming to the Lakers, and there are rumors that Goody Robert from the Minnesota Timberwolves will be available for trade. If this happens and the Lakers manage to sign him, we will have in Los Angeles a respectable big three that is feared by their Western rivals. Rumors: the Lakers are interested in signing the Minnesota Timberwolves star to form the best team in the West and seek the 18th title. The Lakers need a big man, and a former number 1 overall pick has been touted as a realistic target. The Los Angeles Lakers ended up falling at the first hurdle in the 2025 playoffs, losing in 5 games to the Minnesota Timberwolves. One of the biggest issues for the Lakers in that series was not having a starting caliber big man, and they plan to get one this offseason. Bleacher Report's Andy Bailey has listed some realistic targets for the team, and one of them is former number 1 pick DeAndre Ayton. It would take more of the aforementioned salary to get DeAndre Ayton, but it'd likely cost fewer draft picks than some of the names that follow. At this point, the number 1 pick from Luka's draft probably counts as a distressed asset, but it's still too early to give up on him. The 26-year-old center has averaged a double-double, 16.4 points and 10.5 rebounds, for his career. And he's never played with a creator quite like Luka. Post-prime Chris Paul wasn't quite at that level. His volume and efficiency as a scorer could both climb as Luka's lob threat. And while he's not known as a great rim protector, he's an upgrade over Hayes on that end. He's also better than a lot of other 7-footers at surviving on the perimeter after switches. Ayton's salary would be a bit difficult to match. He signed a 4-year, $132 million deal with the Phoenix Suns in 2022, and you do question if he's worth it at that price. Ayton averaged 14.4 points, 10.2 rebounds, 1.6 assists, 0.8 steals, and 1.0 blocks per game for the Portland Trail Blazers in 2024-25. Just as it has been the case for much of his career, he struggled with consistency. There were times when Ayton looked like one of the better bigs in the league, and then there were others where he was flat-out terrible. It was that inconsistency and concerns regarding his motor that led to the Suns deciding to part ways with the Bahamian in 2023. Could the Lakers get the best out of the man who was selected 2 spots ahead of Luka Doncic in the 2018 NBA draft? Well, it's hard to say. Perhaps playing alongside Doncic will lead to Ayton's game being taken to another level. Doncic has made pretty average big men look serviceable on the offensive end in his career, with Jackson Hayes being a prime example. Ayton is far better on offense than Hayes and could revive his career in a way with the Lakers. Another positive for the Lakers here would be that while they'd have to give up a lot to match salaries, they won't have to part with significant draft capital. Ayton's stock isn't too high at the moment, thanks to his production and salary, which means they would be in a position to make another significant move after trading for him. This still doesn't seem like a very likely move, though. The Lakers have never been strongly linked to Ayton, but that could change, of course. We have also listed out 8 other centers the Lakers could acquire this offseason. They'd all be big upgrades on Hayes and would get the team closer to winning a championship. Lakers predicted to ink long-term contract with $55 million forward, playoff riser. The Los Angeles Lakers general manager Rob Pelinka will be tasked with figuring out a course of action for the franchise's offseason spending plans, as the team may look to reconfigure their roster to give LeBron James and Luka Doncic a real shot at winning a title together in 2025-26. Los Angeles could be in the market to negotiate a trade to bring in another star talent to pair with the generational tandem, but the front office's focus might first be to navigate their current contractual obligations, as some key contributors will be up for a new or restructured deal in the coming months. One of the team's more experienced and versatile options, Dorian Finney-Smith, will be a name to monitor in contract extension talks. While the floor-spacing wing and active defender may be willing to commit to the Lakers for the long haul, recent reports have indicated that he and the franchise could work on a future deal that could provide the forward with a renewed sense of financial security and possible motivation to stick around and help the team raise an 18th championship banner in franchise history. Finney-Smith has a $15.4 million player option, CBS Sports' Sam Quinn wrote Thursday. The Lakers would love him back at that number. He would presumably like to be back, but with a bit more long-term security. Depending on what the Lakers are trying to accomplish from a cap perspective, that means they could either give him an extension off of that $15.4 million number or, if they need a bit more wiggle room this season, potentially ask him to opt out and leave a bit on the table for this season for more money in future years. Either way, expect a long-term resolution to be reached. Whether he receives an extension or decides to assist the organization by taking a slight pay cut in the present, it could be assumed that Finney Smith is invested in the Lakers' mission of winning a title with a group being led by the core of James and Doncic. At 31 years old, the ex-Dallas Mavericks forward and longtime Doncic teammate with Dallas and now Los Angeles has developed into one of the more reliable 3-and-D wings in the game. The 6'7" combo forward contributed 8.7 points and 3.9 rebounds while knocking down 41.1% of his looks from three-point range in 63 appearances this season, though his efficiency from outside dropped to a 39.8% clip in his 43 contests with the team after arriving via trade from the Brooklyn Nets on December 29. While Finney Smith possesses a 36.2% career shooting percentage from distance, his long-range shot drops at an incredible 41.2% rate in the playoffs, making him an incredibly useful player that meshes well with the playstyle of the Lakers' two superstars, and certainly one worth bringing back on a team-friendly deal. J.J. Redick admits he's not satisfied with the 2024-25 season. "I can get a lot better." J.J. Redick reviews the 2024-25 season, vows to improve after his coaching debut. Los Angeles Lakers coach J.J. Redick has a lot to reflect on after losing in the first round of the NBA playoffs. Following his team's defeat against the Houston Rockets, Redick opened up on his debut season and promised to get better in his role. "I'll use my own thoughts to evaluate myself, and I'll use what my players say and what my coaching staff says to evaluate. I will get better. I don't necessarily take any satisfaction from how the year went," said Redick, via Jovan Buha. "That's not to say I'm not proud of what the group was able to do, and how we were able to figure out things on the fly and put ourselves in a position to have home court in the first round. But there are always ways to get better. And I can get a lot better." Redick was hired with no prior experience, but the Lakers trusted his basketball knowledge and his ability to lead the locker room. Now, some fans are calling for his job after a failed season, but Redick says he has no issue with being the scapegoat. "We all know what the Lakers is," Redick said Thursday. "I talked about it when I did my opening press conference. I know what I signed up for, and I know there's a lot of blame that gets placed on me, and I'm willing to accept that. Believe me, no one's harder on me than me." The Lakers lost in the first round despite winning 50 games in the regular season, and JJ's job security was under major doubt. During one half of Game 4, he played the same 5 players the whole way through in an unprecedented decision. He also made headlines after a heated altercation with a reporter following Game 5. In a disappointing Lakers season, J.J. Redick made plenty of mistakes, and the growing pains were clear in his first year on the job. While some may claim that he's no better than Darvin Ham, the latest intel suggests that the Lakers intend to keep Redick, and his job is safe for the time being. With no fear of being fired, Redick can put his focus on learning from his debut and growing as a leader both on and off the court. He can also get to know Luka Doncic better, who was traded in the middle of the season in exchange for Anthony Davis. The most important thing for the Lakers right now is not internal growth, but adding the right pieces in the offseason. The Lakers need a center to compete in the West, and they have several players to consider if they want to fill the role. They also need more depth off the bench after the second unit combined for just 4 points in Wednesday's Game 5 loss. Overall, the situation is complicated for the Lakers, and while they don't believe they're far away from contention, there are many areas of improvement for the organization. No matter what happens in the offseason, the pressure will be on the Lakers to contend next season and validate giving up their championship big man. Fortunately, J.J. Redick has vowed to improve, and it will surely help maximize their potential. LeBron James makes big change in his relationship with Lakers, report. The Los Angeles Lakers will not get any help from LeBron James in building out their roster around Luka Doncic, their new face of the franchise for the next decade. Unlike last offseason when James took a pay cut to help the Lakers get under the first apron, James is taking no discount this time, Jovan Buha and Sam Amick of The Athletic reported in the aftermath of the Lakers' elimination from the postseason. James agreed to cut about $2.7 million from his salary for this season to help the Lakers gain flexibility to build out a roster around him and Anthony Davis back then. But after Davis was unceremoniously traded for Doncic, James' feelings toward the organization have changed. James took notice of how the Lakers accommodated Doncic right away after the trade, while his and Davis's wishes were not met in the recent past. ESPN's Dave McMenamin reported that after the Lakers traded for Mark Williams, which was later rescinded due to a failed physical, it had a noticeable impact on James' changing dynamics with the organization. This enthusiasm and eagerness to make Doncic happy haven't always been seen in instances with James. What is clear is that Doncic will have a say. And it wasn't lost on James' camp, ESPN's Dave McMenamin wrote. Pelinka prioritized Doncic's involvement upon his arrival and immediately engaged in the Williams trade that he'd asked for, when James had for years wanted the team to trade its picks to improve its roster. Underscore 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 underscore. Veiled shot at Lakers? James' unsolicited quip on the Davis trade during his post-game press conference after they got bounced in the first round is a seemingly veiled shot at the Lakers. No comment, I'll never say that, because my guy AD, Davis, said what he needed, and he was gone the following week, James said in jest. I got no comment. I put that uniform on every night, I gave everything that I had, and that's all that matters. As they say, jokes are half meant. James has a $52.7 million player option for next season, which he has to decide on by June 29. You don't know what the roster will look like next year besides the guys that are locked into contracts, James said. Expletive, I got a lot to think about myself. So I don't know what the roster will look like. I don't know where I stand right now. The Lakers do not have enough cap room in the offseason to sign a significant addition in the free agent market if James opts into his player option. Underscore 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 underscore. LeBron won't recruit Luka to stay in LA. After James made recruitment pitches in the past, most recently with Klay Thompson in their failed pursuit last offseason, he's no longer keen on doing that anymore for the Lakers. That was abundantly clear when he made his clear stance on the Lakers' pitch to have Doncic's commitment to the organization beyond next season. No, that ain't my job, James told ESPN. I don't think, I know, Luka knows how I feel about him. And ultimately, that trade happened for the future. That's not for me. Luka has to decide what he has to do with his future. He's 26 years old, I'm 40, so he can't be basing his career off me. That's just real. But I hope, obviously, he stays long term. Laker fans, expletive, love him here. LA has accepted him. We love him as a teammate, as a brother. But ultimately, he's got to make a decision for himself. Expletive, I ain't going to be around much longer. Doncic is extension eligible this summer. If he doesn't sign an extension, he can become an unrestricted free agent after next season if he doesn't pick up his $49 million player option for the 2026-27 season.